Villia Walker from Ville's Sewing Studio. Today we will be looking at how to cut the vest. On the board I have drawn for you the basic blouse back with their center back seam. So this is going to be used to give us the front of the vest. So here we have the AB and the CD is quarter of the hip plus 4 centimeters because we need the seam allowance for the center back and for the side. And then the AC and BD is the length of the blouse back plus 16 centimeters. I find 16 centimeters will give you a good length vest, but that can vary depending on what you want. So we go, take off the center back seam, which is 2.5 cm, and then we're going to take the measurements from there. So that's the center back seam. Alright. So we're going to have your neckline, which is going to be 7 across, 3 down, that's the neckline. Then you go half your shoulder from here, plus 1.5, and then you get your K, which is 4 cm down. Your across back, and your bust line. Reminder, this is 15 down, 15 centimeters down, and the bust is 26 cm down. Then you have your blouse length, the back blouse length, and then you add your 6 to that. Remember you measure your across back and add 1.5 to give you J. Then you measure your bust, your quarter bust plus your seam allowance. Then at the waist you come in 2.5 smaller than bust and shape your side up. Okay? So that's completed. We're going to use it now to do the front. So here we're going to fold off the hemline at the back, which is 4 centimeters. We won't need it on the front. And we'll also fold off the center back seam. Alright? Now let's look at what we have for the front. We are going to fold the fabric for the front now, quarter of your hip measurement, and we're going to add 9 centimeters to that. We are going to use the 9 centimeters to give us the seam allowances that we need to join the pieces together, plus the lap over at the front. Here we have a drawing of what the vest looks like, a front view of the vest, right? This is a side view of the vest. So we're going to do these two pieces using the back. So we put the back on this fabric, which is this measurement. So if your quarter bust is 30, it will be now 39. Your quarter hip side is 30, it will now 39. Now we're opening the front of the vest, so we need 4 centimeters here for the open front. So we fold off this seam right at the fold here and place that fold here. So this will be 4 centimeters for your buttons to go on. Now we cut, follow the same neckline like that, across your shoulder, same way, and then we come down 5 centimeters below the across front line. So this now will be F, which is the across front. So that will be again line F, and that's line E, and this will be your waist. Alright, that will be your waist. So what you would do now, we're going to curve the dart from below the across front line, and that can vary, depends on the effect you want, right? So if you're coming down to 5, you will come down 5. Now right here will be at the peak of your breast. So you'll have to measure from your shoulder down to here and know what that measurement is. And then we would take the measurement from here to that point. And then from here across is going to be the dart. So we use the same dart allowance at the waist here, except because we're cutting it, we need seam allowance on it. So instead of 10 centimeters, now we'd have to use 12, because we're going to need a seam allowance here. So we come across your 12, and then we join this point straight down. So this is going to give us this middle piece of the vest. That is this part here. That's what we're going to get there, or this middle piece here. So, all right. So we will cut that out. Cut that out. The neckline, you can determine how many buttons you're going to use. So if you're going to use, say, 2 buttons, you measure from your shoulder again to where you want the opening of the vest to be, and then you have your required buttons down. So the neckline will be determined by the effect that you want, okay? So we'll lower the neckline there and widen it if you need it wider. Remember, this neckline will fit you right here, just like my blouse, right at near to my neck. All right, so after we cut this out, we will not move the fabric. You will keep the fabric same way, and you're going to take this piece, and overlap the curve that is there. So you're going to have a curve already on here like this. So we put it, overlap it, and then we measure the entire front using the back there. All right, so we measure, and then you're going to add the seam allowance under here. So when you're adding the seam allowance, you're going to go up 1.5, right? So you need seam allowance on this piece right here. You need seam allowance on this piece right here, right? So we would shape on it, on the back, and use it by adding the seam allowance there, all right? But when you cut and you assemble, the front view would look like this. Right, with a curve, and this is a half, and the full view would look like this. So this is a half of the front, and this is the full front of the vest. So you have to use the back to cut the front. We use the back to cut the front. And we actually do the drawings using the back, okay? So we will try it now on the fabric, so you'll have a better idea as to how it is done. Now this same information is used when you want the princess line dress. That's the dresses that carry the curve and goes down to the hem of the dress. It's also used in jackets, right? It's the same principle. For you to use the back and get the shape for the front, all right? And remember, wherever you're adding your seam allowances, you have to put, wherever you're joining pieces of fabric, you have to have your seam allowance. You must have your seam allowance. So although we're using the back to get the shape, once you get the shape, the seam allowance come this way on this piece. So you're actually going to add the seam allowance here before you cut it. Alright? So you get the shape, then you add the seam allowance. And on this piece, you're going to add the seam allowance here. So you must have seam allowance. Right? You're going to use your dart to give you your shape. Place the back after you do all that. Place the back again and then cut so the shape matches. Alright, so when you're cutting now, the facing for this vest, the facing has to come all the way down and up to the side, because normally peak and then go up to the side. So the facing will be all of this, right up to the side. Alright, thanks for watching. I'm Billy Walker. Remember to visit me on my page, my YouTube page at Bill's Sewing Studio, and learn how to sew using my video.